What's the deal, YouTube? What's the deal? We're back at it with another banger today. We're going to be going over NASA fails again and again. The glitches on the ISS. Yes, we're going over some more genuine red pill information. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment box below over this topic, and I guess over the last video too. Let me know how y'all like that shit. But before we get into this, you already know what I'm about to ask you. I know you're tired of me hassling. I'm tired of you not doing it. You know, it's a little back and forth we got here. Drop a like for your boy. Drop a little like if something resonates with you, makes you laugh, makes you giggle. You know what I'm saying? Or if you just want to show some love, let's get straight into it. Let's go.
ODD
So, on January 3rd, 2018, there was a major malfunction on what's called the International Space Station. In a video on NASA's YouTube channel called Space Station Crew Members Discuss Life in Space with the Media, the three astronauts all disappear simultaneously while the background layer of the ISS remains intact.
Thank you very much again. Thank you for your time. Have a good flight and many more exciting experiments on the orbit. Thanks a lot.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
When you look at this, and the actors, they are the only things that mess up. Watch closely. This is a big deal because it means without any doubt whatsoever that there was live editing and video manipulation. Not only would the background get scrambled as well, but these guys wouldn't all disappear at the same time. So check that one out on NASA's channel. I'll leave a link in the description. There are a lot of us that have been showing this stuff for years, and people are waking up to the deception, while some refuse to acknowledge it. In fact, many people hold the idea of outer space and NASA very near and dear to their hearts. So much so that when they are shown this evidence, their ego won't allow them to accept that space is a hoax.
You could say their ego or it's cognitive dissonance, whichever one.
Years of psychological programming through various media doesn't help either. But whether we like it or not, NASA and all the other space agencies are lying to the world. They're lying to you. They're lying to your kids. We've caught NASA too many times to count at this point. We catch them glitching, There's this one video where the actor is going around a corner and he is faded out before making it completely out of the viewer's sight. Let's not forget space bubbles.
I don't know if y'all may know this or not, but let me drop a little gem. Majority of the stuff that they film is done under underwater pools that they have. They call them the little training labs. to simulate like if it was outer space. AKA, that's why they have the bubbles there. They're gonna lie and say some bullshit like, "Oh no, it's not bubbles." There's a couple astronauts who just try to deny it at first, and then yeah, I don't think they've given a clear. Well, maybe they have given a clear reason what they claim those bubbles are, but yeah, there's no bubbles in space. There's no bubbles in space. It's not how it's supposed to. What they claim space is, that doesn't add up with it. It makes more sense with it. Them training underwater, you know, that whole little scene set up. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there is a mission. Y'all can look this up. There was a mission where they were supposed to be in space, and one of the astronauts was drowning, drowning in space, and they were able to get him out of there and get him to the fucking emergency room because apparently water got in his mask. Well, why is there water in fucking space? Oh, probably because he was under the pool where they train. And there's a specific word for it. I don't want to say it under the pool. It sounds kind of weird. There's like a little training facility that they have that's underwater, right? And that motherfucker was basically training in there, not in space. You know, they were lying again. Water got in his mask and he was choking and he was going to die. They had to get him out of there, take him to the fucking hospital, and he was good to go. But bubbles in space, what do you know? That don't make no sense.
Dave Williams about to move out of the Quest airlock. Those particles that you see emanating from the airlock is said by the...
Notice how there's no stars, they don't ever want to pan the camera 360 degrees around to show you what's around everything. You're in space. You want to fucking show everybody. Just be like, just do a quick little pan, just a little spin real quick. Why won't they do that? Oh, because they follow the same rule that Hollywood does. If you never reveal the fourth wall. Same as like all the other famous cartoons that you like to watch, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all those other crazy good TV shows. You never give the fourth wall because that's where the cameras are at. That's where all the staging and all the things are happening. So you just show the three walls. It's kind of weird that they never want to pan it 365 degrees around while they're claimed to be outside like that. There's no stars. There's no other satellites there that they claim that you look up. There's like, man, every site you look up says something different. Some say there's 20,000 satellites. Some say there's 50,000. Some say there's 1 million around the fucking globe. There's never a specific answer. But the whole point is there should be tons and tons of things and debris. Like they say, oh, there's space debris. Where are all the fucking asteroids? Where all the other weird shit they say there? Where are the stars at? Where are the other planets that are there? Yeah. Shit ain't adding up. I mean, you can look at this and just know that there's something definitely off about this. There's definitely something very off about this.
EVA officer Paul Baim in mission control to be particles of water from the crew's sublimators on their spacesuits.
There you go. Come up a little bit there. Okay.
See, look, shots like that right there are a perfect example of they just show you a small little fucking tiny piece of a fin of a satellite, and then that's all you see. That's all they see. They show a couple solar panels right there, and oh my god, it's a satellite. Every fucking photo, video, picture that they put out and do, they always just show one little piece, a little fin of it, just a little fin. Yeah, that's... all this shit is definitely sketchy, definitely edited. Yeah, this shit looks way off. You're telling me that he's just chilling there, just wow, he's supposed to be going, I don't know, what is it, 1,000 miles per hour around us? Like, it's probably higher than that. I'm probably lowballing it. He's probably going way faster than that. I know that that they claim the spin of the Earth is about 1,000 miles per hour. So if he's following it or even going faster around, like, that don't make no goddamn sense. My eyes will tell me that he's not moving that fucking fast.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
Can you be more specific? Air bubbles?
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, and it just happens that actors train in an underwater tank.
That's the shit I was telling you. Don't you see, like, it would make way more sense for the little bubbles to be floating up because they're in their underwater pool versus in space. They just have no explanation, really. I'm gonna be honest with you.
NASA tells us that the Earth is photoshopped because it has to be.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
and then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space.
Some NASA actors say that you can totally see stars when you're in space.
Whilst in space, have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Because you can see, because you can.
Look at their face when they're asking each other that question. They're just like, yeah, making up a goddamn lie. It's like when you and your homie and your girl's right there in front of you, she's like, hey, where was he at last night? And y'all just look at each other. Shit, he was at my house. Yeah, I was at his house. Yeah, we were just chilling, nothing crazy, playing 2K. Damn well you weren't in this house playing 2K. You were clapping a bitch's cheeks and you were hiding it. Bro, the look on these guys' face, I'm telling you, this does not look right. It don't sit right with me. I can see bullshit. I can smell bullshit from a mile away. I know y'all can too. Take a look at these guys' face. They do not look genuine at all.
See the stars.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
Yeah. It's not a black void. I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
There's all the stars there, and the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
Yeah, you can, and there's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
You see the gas Magellan clouds of the Milky Way galaxy.
You see the Magellanic clouds.
Magellanic. See, I just wanted the Magellan clouds.
There's a large one and a small one, right?
Yeah.
And then you can see the zodiacal light.
Whoa.
But the NASA actors from 1969 say that you can't see the stars in space.
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what.
And oh shit, and he's just trying to make it seem like he's trying to talk. I'm gonna keep it juicy. He's trying to talk too proper. He's trying to follow his script. If I just came back from the damn moon, I'd be like, yo, hell no. Hey, look, I saw this, I saw that. She was kind of crazy out there. I would explain. You would add some type of emotion, something to it. This guy looks like he's trying to hide a fucking murder. He looks like he's trying to hide a murder. He's just like, you see, on my calculations, blah, 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 optic, blah, blah, bullshit. I don't want to hear that. It does not sound genuine. I'm going to keep it Jewish. If you just did something for the first time, or even if it wasn't the first time, you just went to the goddamn moon here in space, you'd be talking about it enthusiastically. You wouldn't sound like you're trying to follow a script and not trip over your words. Like, I'm going to keep it Jewish. You wouldn't.
Stars we could see.
I don't remember seeing any.
You can see the stars.
Oh yeah.
And pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
I don't remember seeing any.
NASA says that we can't leave low Earth orbit.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on Space Station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit.
Early in the next decade, the set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit.
And this is really the beginning, I think, of human beings leaving low Earth orbit.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth.
NASA tells us that they lost the 1960s technology that took us to the moon.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
The ultimate destination.
So you're telling me the $30 billion we used to go to the damn moon, you lost the blueprints on how to build these spaceships, so you don't know how to build these spaceships no more. Sounds to me like y'all already did a good job faking it the first time. We have all this technology, all these things going on right now. Y'all can't afford to do that shit again. Obviously, you have a lot of money to it. I'm saying you can't afford to do and fake that again. With all the things going on right now, too many people would be waiting to pick that apart, decipher it. There's no way for you to do that right now. Keep in mind, the first people who claimed that the moon landing was fake aren't these so-called conspiracy theorists. These are people who worked in the industry, in film, in Hollywood, who edited videos, who knew how to do manipulations with lights, who knew how to do these things. These weren't just some crazy person like, I think this shit's fake. Don't you think it's fake? No, it wasn't. These are very credible people that were in the film industry. They called the bullshit out. They were letting people know how it was and how easy it is to fake it. They can't do that no more. We haven't gone in, what, almost 40, 50 years now? Bruh. You just lost it. You just lost the technology. Oh, I lost it. 30 billion down the drain. Hell no. Bruh.
Is Mars. So if you gave me all the money in the federal budget today, I could not get a human to Mars.
I think that what you're doing is taking a shot in the dark. You have no way of knowing if any commercial entity will ever be able to put a man in orbit, no matter how much money you throw at them. What you're doing is you're taking NASA's manned space program and making it a faith-based initiative. I yield the rest of my time.
NASA also says that they lost the telemetry data for the moon missions.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
Speaking of fabricated moon missions, we as humanity have been being systematically brainwashed to accept the moon landing when they finally did fake it. For instance, in 1902, the very first sci-fi movie ever made came out. It was called A Trip to the Moon. The guy who made this, George Méliès, made all sorts of similar short movies around the same time. The Astronomer's Dream, Impossible Voyage, Courtship of the Sun and Moon, Conquest of the Pole, the North Pole that is. Anyway, more pre-moon landing movies that conditioned us mentally were Destination Moon from 1950, (1955) Conquest of Space, 1958 From the Earth to the Moon. That's the same year NASA was established. 1960 12 to the Moon. Then, in 1962, JFK gave his famous "We choose to go to the moon" speech.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
Followed by more mental conditioning in First Men in the Moon, 1964. And Jules Verne's Rocket to the Moon in 1967. In 1969, NASA goes to the moon for the first time, where President Nixon talked to them on the phone with no problem.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has...
So you mean to tell me he made a phone call to the moon, no cutoff, no bad service, nothing. He had a fucking corded phone. I can't even make a call certain places around here without it getting cut off. I can't even make calls in certain buildings because the service is too low. This motherfucker made a call to the moon. I call bullshit. Complete bullshit. Complete fuckery. Hell no.
To be the proudest day of our lives.
Only there is a problem. Nixon would not have been able to talk to them because the moon is supposedly 238,000 miles away. From then on, most of the world believes that NASA really goes to a place called outer space, and anyone that disagrees is an ignorant conspiracy nut lacking in education. It's not all their fault though. The propaganda is rampant. In 1981, MTV launches and does their first broadcast with the use of NASA imagery.
7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
MTV even uses an astronaut on the moon as the logo for movies. And they give out the astronaut statue for Best Music Video Award. This is because MTV is ran by Freemasons. They even operate out of a Freemasonic temple. You see, NASA is also a Masonic entity. Most, if not all, NASA astronauts belong to a lodge, like our buddy Buzz Aldrin here. Freemasons are just drudges in the grand scheme of things. They do a lot of grunt work for the Grand Deception and the New World Order. Freemasonry is a Jewish establishment whose history, grades, official appointments, passwords, and explanations are Jewish from beginning to end. Isaac Wise. Also, I'm not saying that all Freemasons are bad or in on any conspiracy. There are certain lodges and certain individuals and families that are privy to the teachings of the mystery schools because of their social status. It's not for your average Freemason that joined the local lodge down the street. Anyway, back to Buzz Aldrin. This guy has lived his whole life being a puppet for a more sinister power. He is still 100% under oath to obey today. Here he is at some fashion show with Bill Nye. Looking good, Buzz, looking good. Speaking of Bill Nye, this guy was an actor on a sketch comedy show called Almost Live before being picked up by Disney in 1993. We all love Disney, right? Well, Disney, with the 666 in his logo, has a special club at Disneyland called Club 33. And if that wasn't enough, Walt Disney helped found NASA along with Wernher von Braun, L. Ron Hubbard, and Jack Parsons.
Here to introduce you to this new series is Walt Disney.
In our modern world, everywhere we look, we see the influence science has upon our daily lives. Discoveries that were miracles a few short years ago are accepted as commonplace today. Many of the things that seem impossible now will become realities tomorrow.
To this day, our minds are under attack constantly by these parasites. We are submerged in a sea of programming and brainwashing to believe in things that have not and cannot be proven. They want us to believe that Earth is the result of an accidental Big Bang that gave way to life of single-celled organisms that eventually turned into fish, then amphibians, then monkeys, and then us. We are told that we live on a rock that spins as it flies through outer space, and at any moment, we can be destroyed by an asteroid or invaded by aliens. They
Hey, that shit cut off, and we right back, baby.
say that one day the sun will die out and all of this is over. Well, gee, if that doesn't make you feel special, then I don't know what will. Question everything, because everything you think you know is wrong. This has been ODD TV. Until next time, everyone.
So that's that. Let me know how y'all like this series going on. We're gonna go deeper and deeper, pause, into the Mars missions, all different type of missions they've done. We're gonna tear that shit apart, break it down. Let me know how your boy's doing. Let me know what you think of this video and of the last one. What type of content y'all like next? What type of theories, conspiracy theories, whether it be 9/11, JFK. You know, we're gonna go over all of that. Stay tuned. Don't forget to holler back at your boy.